Response video to To Be Serious. I'll play, she has a 10-minute video, I'll play whatever. I'll reference the important clips. Let's put it that way. Skip over the useless parts.
Hi. I said last night, or I told Inmendham that I would attempt a counter-argument. I have misgivings about this because I was going to go into the nature of his argument and Popper's falsifiability and a bunch of stuff, but I'm not.
Yeah, right. A bunch of stuff. It's always a bunch of stuff. There's always this bunch of stuff, and it's always Poppers or Poopers or Freds or Georges or somebody else's. It's about logic. It's about conveying an argument. It's not conveying a name. It's not conveying, a phrase, a sentence. You're not gonna prove nature wonderful by, quoting, Carl Sagan. You're just not going to do it that way. You're going to have to do better than that. You're going to have to come up with evidence for your theory of the immaculate friendliness.
I'm going to do that. I'm just going to take the argument as he presents it and offer some ideas that expand and, I think, refute in some instances what he's talking about. And
yeah, but you're not going to point them or direct them in any way, so I don't know how they could possibly refute anything. Just more ambiguous mush. Okay, you can't just throw. Yeah, I mean, sure, it's effective. You throw a pile of mush in front of somebody, it's going to slow them down, but it's not an argument.
I just want to say, though, to begin with, that there is a quote I really like from Massimo Pagliucci. He's a philosopher I read a lot. I read his blog. His blog is really good, and the quote he has at the top of it is, "Truth springs from argument among friends." And if we could just stick to, the argument and maybe not insult each other, we might get.
Whoa. Yeah, oh, you're sounding like such the victim. Read the titles of your own videos, and then compile, and then read your comments, and then count how many times you've one-starred my videos. And let's compile all your comments on all the pages, psychoanalyzing me and passing your fucking judgments on me, and then we'll compile all the quotes from my videos about you and every comment I've ever posted about you. All right, we'll put those two things side by side, and we'll see who's a fucking terrorist in this fucking goddamn whatever it is, this relationship. All right, fuck you. You started this, all right? I make a joke about, well, that's a very blonde thing to say, and all of a sudden you go off and, I gotta take 3 weeks off because I'm just so fucking goddamn broken-hearted, or whatever the fuck it was. I mean, you've been playing a goddamn game, all right? And you're not gonna sit there and get away with this crap like you're the goddamn fucking victim, because you're goddamn not. All right, your little terrorist group, your little group of, people blocked by Inmendham. Yeah, they don't agree with you. You think Joneser agrees with anything you're saying? No. You think these people give a shit about what you're talking about your caring and all that crap? They don't give a damn. The reason why they're your allies now is because you're against me. Period. That's it. So fuck you. You know what? You think somebody's gonna fall for this shit?
A little further. It's just a suggestion. Okay, I copied this down verbatim from your ponage vlog of me last night. Your first premise is...
Yeah, right. It wasn't ponage. It wasn't any such thing. It was a defense of my argument that you ridiculed with just pointing your stupid finger and laughing. That was your fucking argument. Ha ha ha, how ridiculous. Right? And then I defended why I say what I fucking say. I defended it with logical fucking statements in sequence, that add up to whole paragraphs. I made a fucking argument, unlike you, who just slanders, who just ridicules, who just uses vacuous bullshit as an argument.
Nature is guided by crude forces. Okay. There's a quote that nature guided by crude forces. To be honest, I have no problem with the initial conditions of evolution being seen as the unfolding of absolutely crude forces. But Ursula Goodenough, who is and I know I'm name dropping, but I can't help it, so I'm sorry. But she has another quote that I really think is very crucial to see what's happening here. And that is, evolution starts with randomness, but after that, Mother Nature is much pickier. And I think
Mother Nature is much pickier? I'm supposed to take that seriously? Mother Nature is much pickier? And the bottom line is there's no evidence that Mother Nature becomes much pickier. The only time the rules of natural selection change into anything else is when you apply intelligent selection. When a vessel capable of logic and rationality, which our brain has been designed to do, but what we have corrupted on purpose because we're selfish bastards, but it's capable of rationality and logic, and that's capable of changing the dynamic, because then you can have intelligent selection, then people can wear condoms, then people can make informed choices and decisions. But that nothing changed before that. Before that, it was the same crude forces in operation for millions and millions and millions and billions of years, period. There's no evidence of any Mother Nature anywhere in there.
I think that is exactly a good encapsulation of why it doesn't work after a certain point in evolution to see it as merely a crude process.
Yeah, what point is that? After the Tyrannosaurs or before the Tyrannosaurs? Before bubonic plague or after bubonic plague? I mean, come on. There's no dynamic in nature except DNA molecules competing with each other for dominance. Period. No evidence of anything else happening in this fucking environment. Nothing.
Now, it gets complex here, and I'm not going to go into the details. I'll post.
Yeah, no, what it gets is convoluted, like most religions. Convoluted bullshit. Well, then Noah was naked and drunk, and we had to walk backwards to cover his nakedness. I mean, that's what this just convoluted bullshit stories. Just crap you jackasses make up. Mother Nature. I'm supposed to take that seriously from a scientist? Mother Nature?
If you really are as obsessive about this as I am, there'll be sources in the sidebar that you can take a look at. But when this change from crude to more subtle selection happens, it is as a result, so far as we know, of selecting for cultural intelligence in this case. I mean, human beings have invented culture. And
wrong. Completely wrong. Cultures exist in many species. All right, there's primate tribes. You might have ape tribes, and the tribe on the east coast of the mountain might behave very different than the ones on the west coast. They have different behaviors. They've acquired different understandings that they pass on to their young. You even see it in deer populations. There's a herd of deers that'll stay right into the forest and only go out into the fields, and then there's other herds of deer that have, because they've acquired understanding that they can get away with it, they'll walk right into suburbia and do whatever the hell they want. Because they have, and there's nothing in their genetics that is different. The thing that is different is that they have taught each other a different way of living. And that's it, period. It's culture. Okay, we didn't invent culture. It's just nonsense.
And when they did that, the evolutionary stakes changed. At least that's my point of view on it. And
yeah, well, you got to back your point of view up. We do not. Culture is not a genetic factor. It's a aberrant. It's a product of having organisms that have sophisticated enough psychologies that they can condition and educate their prodigy, their children. So that's it. There's nothing. That evolves on its own. Okay, that evolution takes place by different rules and by a different mechanism. The evolution of memes is different than the evolution of biology. They're not connected directly and barely indirectly.